And we're off. Our first item of the game is the silver arrows. So that will make the Ganon fight quite a bit easier. And both of our runners are heading up to the front of escape. So once again, there won't be very much route variance, since you have to go through the escape. You have to visit Uncle, get to Ganon. And Uncle gives us the bow. So going to be putting those silvers to really good use. Yep, going through those guards like they're nothing, and getting more arrows. So, going through the front, on our way to rescue Princess Zelda. Those silvers are a really good find. You have to have you get some sort of weapon during the beginning of Standard, because you have to be able to kill the guard to get the big key to unlock Zelda, and you have to be able to kill the rat to get the small key in the back of Escape. So you are given some sort of weapon. So not only getting the bow, but getting the bow and silvers is some of your first items in the game is a really good find. And next up is just the map. Means we will be having them. They will be checking the chest in Sanctuary, because it's guaranteed to not be the map. So, on our way, almost there. Next up is just 50 rupees, and the small key to get downstairs. So once again, for those joining us, this is the Standard Tournament. As you're seeing right now, the runners have to go through the beginning of the game. Once they get there, they can go whatever route they want to get the 7 crystals, to get to Ganon's Tower and beat Ganon. Silvers make short work of the guard, and just a small key to get through the back of Escape. So, again, hope everyone is doing well this evening. Another good match. This is going to be a Swiss tournament, so there will be 7 rounds. So this is the first round. Our 2 runners here, KillerApp23 and Wulfy83, are both at 0. Because this is Swiss, the 1-0s will play each other in round 2, and the 0-1s will play each other, and then 2-0, 1-1, 0-2, and so on and so forth through the 7 rounds. And then the tournament will be, the knockout rounds will be seeded by number of victories for just a fraction of our runners, and from that we will determine our champion. Looks like Wulfy83 is trying to grab some bombs. That way you can bomb the back of Escape and you don't have to worry about coming back later with the glove. One difference about Standard from the other modes is you have to push open that statue behind the thrones. Now we're in the basement, so killing some goons. And back of Escape gives you the shield. Not super helpful right now. Probably would have liked to have seen some other items, maybe some more progression, but take what you can. And here's where that weapon comes into play, because you got to kill that rat to get that key. And Killer App is not going to have any bombs, and unless they get lucky, it looks like Wulfy isn't going to either. So, big 20. That'll at least help them get item from the bottle vendor, but looks like they're probably going to have to come back here in a little bit. And Wulfy is the first to finish the escape sequence, and the prize is just a piece of heart. And looks like Wulfy is starting going to the left. Gonna skip Houlihan. Yeah, this is KillerApp23. And we've had a slight tangent. I am now being joined on comms by Albanic Fox. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yep. Have been able, something's with iBasley. Hopefully everything's all right, but we thank you for joining us this evening. And we're going to see what's on. Oh, flippers on the woodcutter's ledge. That is probably not something you want to see.
I joined just in time to maybe get an Agganon seed.
You did, you did. Our runners have been kind of lucky so far. The first item was silvers. Second item was the bow, but haven't had too much luck since. Those are some of the first bombs of the game. They had to skip the back of escape. Chests, and finding flippers on the ledge is not a good thing, especially if it turns out you're going to need them to complete the game.
Still nice knowing that you don't have to do a silverless scan, though.
Indeed, because we don't know how many swords we're going to be finding. So, right now it seems like both our runners are sticking with roughly the same strategy.
It's a pretty standard issue opening for standard, I guess.
Absolutely. So what is blind hiding today? Bomb upgrade. 20 bucks. The lamp. Blue meringue.
It's pretty appreciable.
Yep. Oh, dark rooms as well, this seed. And the mirror.
Alright, that's a pretty good basement.
Yep. Good job, blind.
The Bloomerang is a bit easy to underestimate as well. When they make their way into Skull Woods, it will allow them to stun the Gibdos, which can make a couple of the rooms significantly easier.
Yep, especially if this is a low on health seed. Right now we've only found one heart piece at the moment. Oops.
Well, a bit of an unfortunate bomb through, but immediately getting a refill anyways.
Yep, all works out in the end. And a little more cash, 100 rupees. Powder, red meringue, and another piece of heart.
Well, both boomerangs already.
And there's a full heart from the bottle vendor. Kakariko is nice, but it's the only super major progression item we've gotten at the moment is the lamp.
Possibly the mirror. Hinging on whether we get the book for Desert, if it's at all required.
Mm-hmm. And if this does turn out to be an Aghanim seed, because you need those flippers. So we're going to see what's in the back of the bar. Just 20 bucks.
Oh, stealing the tip jar, are we?
For shame. For shame, Link. Well, Sonic. And eventually, Bunny. A lot of fun sprites have been made for the Randomizer program.
Nothing in the library, so no real guarantee of boots.
Oh. And saving and quitting from KillerApp. Yes, so right now we've got the bow, the silver arrows, both boomerangs, the lamp, and the first shield. Thus far.
The shield, a fantastic item if you get it to the 3rd level. A bit of a lag generator if you don't.
Yep.
It's so minimal, most people don't even really care, though.
Yep. Take what you can, I suppose. And wonder what Sahasrara is going to give us today. We have 20 bucks, piece of heart, and the blue mail.
Sonic turns slightly bluer.
Slightly more blue. Getting a little bit of route divergence as Wulfy finds the hammer in the dam.
That is a really, really nice find early, especially if you haven't found a sword yet. Admittedly, while it's fun to kill everything with silver arrows, they eventually run out.
Yeah, they do. And hammer is also good for getting you access to the Dark World, a couple of other places, and the Cane of Samaria is also, that is a really, really good dam for them today.
Soggy cane.
KillerApp proceeding to go into Eastern Palace, while Wulfy is going to be checking out what is in the mini Moldorm Cave.
I'd say it's kind of unfortunate that KillerApp is checking Eastern before doing the South Shoreline, but as it sits, he's going to do it anyways once he's done here.
Absolutely. I also don't think we've seen a map check from either runners yet. 5 arrows, fighter sword, 3 bombs, the mushroom, and heart piece are your prizes from mini Moldorm today.
Can always appreciate getting a sword.
Absolutely. And the big key to Eastern is in the Eastern room, so that'll be good. That'll allow you to check the big key chest without having to go all the way through.
Oh yeah, it's nice being able to do the dungeon in a single pass.
Meanwhile, thanks to those bombs, Wulfy is going to be finishing the South Shore check.
But is he going to walk back in fake flippers?
Knowing that you're not going to be getting the flippers until much later in the game, that might not be a bad idea. Of course, they won't be able to get the 2 waterfall.
At the current rate, won't be able to afford King Zora either.
Yeah. But Wulfy is pressing on. They might maybe going for the guy under the bridge. So that's one item.
Doing the bomb setup for the fake flipper.
If it ain't broke. Not checking the Lake Hylia Island, though.
He might dip down quickly to check it before heading into Eastern himself.
That map check from Wulfy. Eastern is the blue pendant, Tower of Hera is the green pendant, and Desert Palace is a normal crystal. And just the compass and Eastern Palace chest, and just some arrows from guy under the bridge.
Unfortunately. But yeah, Wulfy's probably about to check out the island here, I'd imagine.
Yep. One way of doing it, by falling in from there. Only 20 bucks. So that will probably be staying there. Surprised Killer... No, not that surprised, because the Death Warp means you get those hearts back.
I don't think it was entirely intentional, but...
It happens.
Yeah. He's going to clear this while he's here, though. There's no reason not to.
Mm-hmm. And if I recall the item layout correctly, I do believe Armos does... The Armos Knights do have an item on them.
He found 2 in here.
Right.
So this fight is, when he gets to Armos, is basically comedy when you've got silvers.
Yep. Should be a pretty short fight, although only has 4 hearts, but has blue mail. So can't get too full of yourself. You do still need to be careful. But we're almost there as Wulfy is going through Eastern to find their items. So the real question is, where do you go from here?
Well, I guess that depends if Armos actually drops something useful.
Which we're about to find out. And Armos Knights are nothing, and the glove.
Hello, Death Mountain.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild stab and guess that's what the seed is telling us.
Probably straight up into Hera.
Yep, because get up to Death Mountain with the glove and the lamp, and you can get into Death Mountain with the Mire. Or get up to the Tower of Hera, yeah.
And additionally, the lamp, as opposed to the flute route, allows you to do the basement too, just in case there's an item in there.
Exactly.
But KillerApp can go do his South Shore route.
Gonna get some good value for that. And it is true, they also can check escape and get the remaining 3 items down there.
So many options accessible because of the power gloves.
Indeed.
They'd actually even have Dark World access if they had the Moon Pearl at this point, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's our next major progression item.
Probably. Because you're still missing the book to get into Desert Palace. So, while we have a lull in the race, again, to remind anybody who's tuning in, this is the standard tournament. This is using the standard mode, so they had to go through the back of escape first. This is a Swiss tournament, so it's going to be 7 rounds before we get into the knockout rounds. And right now, we are in the middle of round 1. So both of our runners, KillerApp23 and Wulfy83, are standing at a 0.
The flippers are logically required, but it is possible if Swamp Palace is a pendant, they can just fake flipper to ice.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is V29, so there's probably going to be an item in Swamp anyways, so...
I admit I'd never thought of doing that to get out of Sanctuary. I guess that might be a little faster.
It doesn't come up that often, but yeah, it is a dungeon.
It's a smidge faster. And since this is a timed race, any extra time helps. So what is the backup escape hiding for us? 20 bucks, 20 bucks, and 20 bucks.
Naturally.
Womp womp. So as we're suspecting, I'm presuming KillerApp is going to be heading up to Death Mountain, and Wulfy is starting at Link's house.
A little bit curious here.
Because that's heading for a Dark World check.
I don't think being a bunny protects you from being a bunny. Well, there's flippers required.
Yep. Our other pendant dungeon is Eastern, so yes, this is an Agga seed. No fake flipper is going to be able to get you to get through the front of Swamp Palace.
I don't think he forgot he had or didn't have the Moon Pearl. I think he was just checking to be absolutely certain as to whether he had to run to Aghanim at some point.
Old man gives you a piece of heart for helping him out in the cave. And Wulfy is going for his disappointment.
It's not too disappointing, just because they haven't been to King's Zora yet, and they still have all the Dark World expenses to pay, so...
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Good point. Top Spectacle Rock today is another 20. And inside is a bomb upgrade.
It's going to be in Hero Basement, come on. The Moon Pearls are going to be down there.
It could be vanilla. It's not entirely possible it could be vanilla. I guess that's appropriate for Sonic's bunny skin. Super Mario World Mario.
Of course Zora's a king. We just don't get any weeps in this game.
So KillerApp is making his way into Tower of Hera. And the first floor is just a piece of heart. With this low health, I'm slightly surprised he didn't get it, but at the same time, these are two really good runners, so... Well...
Not interested in...
The interesting thing is KillerApp should know that this is an Agga required seed, but perhaps going to East Death Mountain to get the prizes over there.
Did he check Lumberjack?
I believe he did. Floating Island has a bottle. Might be seeing that later, might not. KillerApp opting to go through Spiral Cave first. Probably Audit Paradox Cave after that.
Safe bet. I'm curious if Wulfy is going to... I'm kind of curious as to why KillerApp left Hera.
Yeah. And KillerApp is going to get a piece of heart anyway, because that's what's in Spiral Cave. Meanwhile, Wulfy did take the piece of heart. And about to get their small key, and we'll see their decision. And opting to go downstairs.
Alright, well, let's see which one of these provide something useful.
Well, KillerApp is going to be getting 7 items, so potentially for quantity, it's going to be KillerApp in the book and the Moon Pearl.
Curses, I was off by 1 chest.
So, no vanilla Moon Pearl today. Meanwhile, Wulfy's getting close to the end. 20 rupees, 50 rupees. 5-hour upgrade, shield upgrade, and the net.
Alright, looks like Paradox Cave was definitely the right option in this case.
Indeed. And with how the items shape up, this has to be the Tower of Hera big key down here. Otherwise, how else would you get up there? And Wulfy opting to death warp his way back up. I don't think I'd seen the bunny's death sprite yet.
Well, he's going to choose to go up and find that second item, so...
Meanwhile, KillerApp is going to be doing a Dark World run, starting with Hype Cave.
Technically a potential third item, too, because it is Green Pendant for Moldorm.
And KillerApp starting off strong with a hook shot. $20, $5, $1, and the other $1.
Both the green rupees worth.
I don't think I've seen that in a randomizer yet, having both green rupees in the same location.
I like how that chest or the cave just got progressively worse. Something really amazing up front, and then just smaller amounts of money.
Further and further disappointing. But that hook shot is a really good find, though. Can't deny that.
Oh yeah, that's required every seed.
Compass, on the other hand, is a little more disappointing for Wulfy. More money for KillerApp. Thanks, Stumpy. Looks like Wulfy is opting to use hammer strats on our good friend Moldorm.
It's better than trying fighter sword. Oh wow.
The boots.
Killer is making all of the right choices right now.
Indeed. And your prize from Moldorm is only 10 arrows, so yes, I would very much say that I think KillerApp made the right play. Although he is going to have to go back up there eventually to get the pendant, but this will give him a lot more freedom to check other places.
He might not need the pendant, depending on what's actually on Sasrala. But if that pendant turns into flipper, or not flippers, can't be flippers. Flippers are in the cave. What am I talking about? If it turns into a flute, or like any of the rods.
Because let's see, double checking what we have. Again, the flippers that are on Woodcutter's Ledge are needed because you got to get into Swamp Palace. It's a crystal dungeon. You are going to need the fire rod for both Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock, which means you also need the ice rod.
They still have a fair few items to go before they reach go mode.
KillerApp checking tablet, and it's just cash, so that is not going to be pulled. Let's just a piece of heart.
The good news about finding those boots right there as well is that conveniently, if desert is boots locked, that's not an issue anymore.
Nope. Meanwhile, Wulfy is going through Paradox and going to be getting their prizes. Only a couple items in Desert Palace, but it is a crystal dungeon.
Yeah, just clearing it in and of itself is worth it, for all intents and purposes.
Starting with the big key, small key on the lantern.
So it wasn't effectively boots locked, but this will potentially guarantee getting the 2 items out of here.
Indeed. Titan's Mitts!
Well, that one didn't need the boots, but that's the one you want to see.
Absolutely. So with that, KillerApp has full Dark World access. I mean, pretty much every location they would have been able to hit, but Titan's Mitts means you can't hit all of them. And since Mire is a required dungeon, that is an item you definitely needed.
That is technically a vanilla item, yes. You do normally get gloves in that chest.
depending on your progression, it would have been the Power Glove. So, while Wulfy is going to get their hype and disappointment, and KillerApp is going through desert. Wonder what's going to be KillerApp's next move.
At the current rate, where the next progression item is.
That is absolutely fair.
He's having a phenomenal run at the moment.
Indeed, backing out of Hera turned out to be the right play thus far.
Wulfy might be going up and showing us what Green Pendant actually has, though.
Indeed. And if Wulfy ends up going through Pod, which it's got everything that he can, he might be seeing a pet check sooner rather than later.
Oh no, just immediately going for pedestal.
It's bold strategy. And good news is the arrows do make the land mows quite a bit easier, but fortunately had a little bit of trouble trying to hit him.
Alright, so backing out of Hera was definitely the right place so far. Sazral only had a big 20.
And Wulfy is going to be making the play for the pendant, and whatever items are hiding inside of Pod. And since found all the other dungeon items, only the map on Landmo, but we do have the first crystal, a little over half hour into the game.
I'm curious if he'll go back in and check the right side, because there should be one more item over there still.
Correct. It looks like that is what KillerApp is going to be doing.
It's better than leaving and having to come back, especially going through the book cutscene again.
Absolutely. Wulfy opting to go through the front door rather than check the right side of Pod.
If he can get a key to do the loop back down and through the big chest, big key chest here, when he jumps down, I'll put him beside the portal to the bow side, anyways. So,
absolutely fair play. And looks like Eastern was not much going in terms of items. Ether and Pod.
Not sure if we need that quite yet, but
it's always better to have more medallions than less, especially when it turns out that you need them.
Oh yeah, I'd rather have them in my inventory than go and take a look and be like, I can't open this right now. Now I have to come back.
Speaking of medallions, Agina had Quake.
A bit dangerous to keep in a cave, I'd think.
Yeah, probably not good. I mean, in Link to the Past, Quake is lightning, so maybe? I don't know. The medallions are weird.
It can't be, it doesn't affect flying creatures.
Meanwhile, Wulfy's just finding more small keys, and King's Doom just has Piece of Heart. So Wulfy is continuing on, while KillerApp is checking out the Bonk Rocks.
Quick is the one that looks like bacon.
Just $20. Right now, that early Dark World play has really paid off for KillerApp.
Oh yeah, especially having gotten the boots.
Yeah, finding those boots in the south of Grove was a really good find, as was Wulfy finding the fire rod in Pod.
Well, Killer's gonna have to come in here at some point.
Indeed, and if they were thinking about doing Skull Woods, but looks like they're going to start with with the village of outcasts first.
I've been seeing a lot more people, half magic, coming down and doing Thieves Town before running up into Skull Woods. I'm not sure why, but
different plays for different folks. But that half magic is definitely a really good find, especially in Standard. And there's the sword upgrade. We have Master.
Aghanim is now accessible for Killer. By the sounds of it, he didn't check the lumberjacks, though, so he might not know he needs to go there.
Nope. And that is a good find for the big key of Pod, right outside the big key chest. But just a map.
Only a burrito. Wulfy's going for Helmasaur King. He's going for all 3 pendants.
And KillerApp is going for the Thieves Town play. Starting out strong with Red Mail, which gives us a Supersonic. I guess I really shouldn't be surprised by that. And just a big 20.
If Pedestal actually has something, this is going to be like the best thing ever for Wulfy.
Certainly will be. And big key, which means this chest could be anything, and it's just the map. So, pretty shortly, Wulfy is going to have the final pendant. KillerApp is going to do their blind fight.
Basically, any of the remaining items can be on pedestal now, simply by virtue of we're going to have all 3 pendants already, so...
It cannot be the Flippers. Flippers are on Lumberjack Cave, which, since Swamp Palace is a crystal dungeon, means they are in fact required.
But everything else, it could be Bombos, it could be Ice Rod.
Could be the flute.
I think those are actually only the 3 remaining items we really need to finish the game.
It could be a vanilla sword. Although it's not required, since we're able to get Master from earlier in the game. And 1 silver makes the Helmasaur joke. And KillerApp ran out of bombs. Luckily, that is a guaranteed bomb drop.
Big 20 on Helmasaur King.
And the final pendant.
Alright, let's see if he's just going to go for the blind ped pull, like, right now.
Well, he is saving and quitting. And he is going to Sanctuary.
It's actually kind of convenient check, all things considered, because he got the fire rod in Pod appropriately. So he can actually finish Skullwoods while he's there. At which point it's just mirroring from right outside Skullwoods to that pedestal.
The Sanctuary Heart is with Blind today. Sanctuary Heart is the only big heart that gives you that health refill. Definitely a welcome find in the game. Looks like Wulfy is opting to do the start in the Dark World.
It makes sense. It's easier to mirror from the Dark World to where you need to be in the Light World than to
Absolutely.
run all the way back up to the portal.
And KillerApp has a pretty clean blind fight, and his prize for his efforts is $5.
But the one of the 5-6 crystals, in fact, it's the other 5-6 crystal because Desert was the first one.
So it also means we can get a Pyramid Fairy check shortly. Wulfy finds quite a bit more money inside the Skullwoods.
Okay, now he's got enough money.
Yes, we have not seen either of our contestants do a Zora check. Looks like KillerApp is going to bring the Smith back home. Probably do Peg Cave while he's at it. And Wulfy certainly remembered the Gibdos being affected by the boomerang.
It's really convenient because they're really annoying enemies.
They really are. Peg Cave not giving you any hype today, only 3 bombs. While Wulfy made the bomb jump and only got the map for his efforts. Hookshot means he doesn't have to fall in, though, to get out. And the Smiths are Heartsmiths in this seed.
I'm not quite sure how that works.
I probably don't want to know. What I do want to know is we are going to get a bat check. Since we did find powder earlier in the game. And what does the magic bat have for us today? The cape! A magic cape from a magic bat.
Makes sense. Batman always has one.
So, I wonder if Wulfy is going to be pulling the pedestal before doing Skullwoods. Looks like they're going to be doing Skullwoods first. Also looks like they're opting to go to Mothula first.
Makes sense, because that just really does take about the same amount of time to pick up anyways.
And with the cape, KillerApp was able to do Bumper Cave, but only being $300 and having this amount of cash on you, didn't need to do it.
He is going to find out the unfortunate requirement of killing Agga, though.
It is a good point, because them's the flippers. Wonder if he's regretting not having completed Tower of Hera right now. Even though by doing that, they were able to get quite a few items faster than Wulfy.
I don't think so. I think he's pretty confident in that decision for now.
Turned out to be a good move. One disappointment for Wulfy is they have found neither the half magic nor the Master Sword, so that's going to make Mothula all the more harder. Meanwhile, it looks like KillerApp is going to go beat Agga.
Moth, please get off the wall.
But no. Oh, but Wulfy got it just in time. Excellent effort. 10 bomb upgrade for his troubles, plus the crystal. That was too close for comfort.
Very, very good fight from Wulfy, though.
Indeed.
It's real easy to panic when you get that low on health and just run into the wall yourself.
Especially, that was some really good dodging and some really good hammer strats.
Alright, everyone.
it is going to be a blind pull, and our prize for the blind pedestal pull today is...
Disappointment. Wow, he just like painted the pendants blue and now they're explosive.
Oh. So, Agga is required, pedestal not so much.
That's really, really unfortunate for Wulfy.
I mean, at the same time, they did have the pendants to check, and was a relatively quick check, all things considered. But at the same time, if KillerApp opts to check first before going through it, they might not bother finishing Hera, which will definitely save them some time.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Wulfy to come back from that, because that's 3 dungeons completed that he didn't absolutely need to.
Absolutely. And that half magic definitely would have helped a few minutes ago. And wonder how many blue balls Agga is going to send Sonic's way today.
One of the big things
Go ahead.
Okay, one of the big things that's probably going to like have to come to account is how long it takes Killer to go check Pod. Because when he gets Flippers here, he's going to have access to Swamp too. But he does need to go back to that one dungeon just for the Fire Rod for both. Maybe Ice Palace, depending on where Bombos is, and finishing up Skullwoods.
Mm-hmm. So it might take Killer a while. I really wouldn't be surprised if they do Swamp first, since you have the hook shot and you can full clear it. Because let's see. We still need the flute to even get Mire access, to say nothing of what Pendant requires. Or Medallion. We also don't know what Medallion we need to get to Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock is basically accessible, though. Maybe not completable at the moment, depending on Ice Rod's location, but...
Right. And down goes Agga. And KillerApp presumably checking the pyramid, which gives us a full heart container. And we'll probably go down and get the big bomb to get the, see what the Pyramid Fairy has in store for us.
Can take the nice shortcut with it too, because the Agnum gate's open now.
Or checking Catfish? Checking Catfish.
I haven't done Zora, so might as well.
And they have the mushrooms. They can also see what the witch has for us.
This is basically one of the best setups you can get for coming up here.
Yeah, for Northeast high roll, this actually is really good time to check it.
Okay, he doesn't want to show us the mushroom though. Maybe
probably on the way back. We're going to start things off with Catfish. And opting to be in the line of fire to get the item no matter what, or they might be a little low. Just a full heart container, opting to take it.
A little bit more safety, though. Unfortunately, still not having the flippers for the waterfall.
Ledge. And it's the flute!
Alright, he's just gonna go get the flippers now. He's just like, no.
That is probably the right choice. So this was an Agga seed in more ways than one. You needed Agganim to get the flippers, and then you needed the flippers to get the flute.
Yeah, he's probably going to grab the flippers and then just head straight back up there.
Might dip into the Dark World real quick to check the Dark Graveyard items, but... Oh, the ledge. I think KillerApp already checked King's Tomb. And only 15 minutes in, one of our runners does have the flippers.
And is about to get flute, so that significantly narrows down the amount of items remaining for go mode.
Correct, but he's starting at Link's. Are they opting to do Ice Palace, potentially? I mean, they can't because they don't have the Fire Rod or the...
I think they're just going to take the Water Warp down here. I don't think he
fair.
got... Yeah, he's going to come up to Hobo and then swim down to the water portal.
Wulfy checked Hobo. KillerApp is not fake flippered yet, and now they never will.
Wulfy clearing out Thieves Town, getting their other crystal there. Still needs to clear Desert to be able to check Pyramid Fairy, though.
So right now, Wulfy's completed more dungeons.
But unfortunately, Hera was basically useless.
Yeah, there was no progression items there, and then Sahasrara just gave you a little bit of money for your trouble. And Wulfy about to get their cape from the Magic Bat. While KillerApp checks out the Waterfall Fairy, finds 20 bucks, and 20 bucks.
Why do all of these multi-chest caves have 20 bucks in them?
I don't know. It has been a running theme. At least he's able to go right ahead and spend them.
We still picked up 20 bucks enough times. We don't need more of them.
Yeah, he's done the chest game, he's done the digging game. I think the only other money he has to spend is at Pod. And the Cane of Burna from King Zora.
Not required, and could potentially be classified as, you know, King ripoff as usual, but it's got some utility.
Yeah, not an unwelcome item. Might have been a little more helpful for that blind fight earlier. But both of our runners took care of blind, no problem. Wulfy appears to be checking Graveyard Ledge. So they don't have the Titan's Mitts yet, so they're taking the long way around. Well, we do hear that sweet, sweet anthem on KillerApp's side.
So I'd imagine at this point he's probably going to check Mire area just to get some information on medallions.
Looks like that's what it's going to be. Meanwhile, Wulfy disappointed by another 20 bucks. And what medallion is... It's Bombos! It's the one medallion we haven't found yet.
Watch, it's going to be right in here anyways.
It's happened to me before. But a full heart container... and a part of a heart container. We still have Checkerboard Cave. So we could still have it in the Mire area. And Checkerboard Cave is a 5 bomb upgrade. So no Mire yet.
Wulfy probably happy to see his boot.
Very happy. Meanwhile, Killer App, I'm gonna hookshot over to East Death Mountain, probably gonna check Super Bun Cave. And Hookshot Cave, no doubt, soon after. And we'll see if they really, really need bombos in the seed.
In a way, it would be kind of nice if Turtle Rock is bombos.
How so?
Well, it means you won't ever have to go in there looking for an item, probably. You can probably safely do it as almost last, as the only other item they'd be missing is the Ice Rod.
That is true. And although Killer App doesn't know it, we do know it is not in a pendant dungeon. The Fire Rod is, though. That wasn't Pod. And Quake, which Killer App has.
Well, if he wants, he can check one item in here.
Right. Check the first chest. That's going to be it, and opting not to. Probably going to check Hookshot Cave first. Meanwhile, Wulfy is going to do their run to Agga.
They're probably about to get their first bottle as well, because there is one on the floating island, so...
Yep, we have not had a bottle yet this seed. Checking Super Bunny first and getting the Tempered Sword and the Golden Sword!
Butter Sword.
Double sword hype. Items are coming in 2s and 3s this seed, aren't they?
That's actually the second time today I've seen, like, really good items. Well, quote-unquote really good items in that cave together. There was a seed earlier where the bow and the flippers were in there.
And there's our Ice Rod. And 20. And 50.
So that leaves the only item we don't know about as bombos.
And Killer App opting not to get the bottle.
It's going to be kind of unfortunate if bombos is on sick.
That, except that was the other item in, that must have been the other item in Hookshot Cave was another bottle with a B.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm being silly.
And more money on the tablet.
Guess I was looking over at Wulfy doing Agnum's Tower while he found that.
Yep. It looks like Killer App is going to be doing the Spike Cave, which with either the cane or the cape and half magic should not be much of a problem at all. Plus the hook shot to save you a couple of hearts. Opting for the cane. It was pretty close.
Wow.
And bombos.
So all he needs now is to go to Pod.
And please do correct me if I'm wrong, Albinic, but I think that means Killer App is in Schrodinger's Go mode, because all they need left is the Fire Rod and Pod.
I believe
now the question is when they're going to go to Pod.
Well, I'd imagine they're going to complete as many of the other dungeons as they can first.
Exactly. The good news is they can complete every dungeon but Turtle Rock with their current item loadout. But they're probably going to also be full clearing every dungeon, at least until they find all the non-dungeon items. I wouldn't want to say who's in the lead, but I'm not quite sure right now.
I think I'd still put it slightly on KillerApp. Being that if he does go into pod, it'll just be a quick find. As soon as he picks up the fire rod, he's just going to mirror around and be on his way.
Absolutely. But right now, it's still anybody's race.
Yeah, it could turn very quickly into Wulfy just going and grabbing everything he needs to catch up.
Another bottle in Swamp Palace. So, let's see, what items could Swamp have? The only... We still don't have the Mire shield, and we still don't have the shot.
At this point, though, the Mire shield could easily be in GT, just we might not need it, just due to... It depends on where the other small key is in Turtle Rock, and that's only a technicality because we've got enough invincibility items, it's not even required anyways.
Yep. Laser Bridge should not be a problem with this loadout. Not at all. Meanwhile, Wulfy finding yet another one of those big 20s that have been so prevalent so far this season.
Going and getting his flippers here will also allow Wulfy to clear Swamp and Ice, and he can already complete Desert now that he's gotten his boots, so...
Indeed. Boots were not required for Desert because the lamp item was the small key, and as KillerApp found, the 2 items it hides were not very helpful today.
No, but it's still nice to go in there when you've got boots. It's a little bit more encouragement to go take a look than taking the entire trip over there and being like, oh, I can't actually finish this. The big key's on the torch, so...
Absolutely. And compass and more bombs. The sunken room. Five bomb upgrade in the secret chest. So KillerApp opted...
Oh!
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
You're fine. KillerApp opted not to do the west side of Swamp Palace. Which is all I was going to mention.
Yeah, as Chat's pointed out, Wulfy also doesn't have Titan's Mitts yet because he hasn't been to Desert, so he's actually limited in quite a few areas still.
Good point. Wow, Wulfy's has turned into mushroom.
Unfortunately, not gonna actually get anything actually good out of it.
Just our container.
And another one.
Another art container. On Argus Day.
Hopefully, if Wulfy does Zora while he's up here, he'll use the flute to do the desert check quickly because he really needs to get down there and get those Titan's Mitts.
Absolutely. Opting to freeze frame for a moment while Catfish gives them the big hurt. And Wulfy getting to find out that once again it's $20 and $20.
More money. You can talk to the witch in the witch's hut to get a free health refill. They basically give out free samples of healing potions. Kind of bad business, all things considered, because you take the trip up there and they just say, "Here you go, have the full restore." It's like, okay, thanks, I won't pay you now. Bye.
Well, first one's always free, and the second one, and the third one. Wulfy getting their Cane of Burna from King Zora and about to get their flute. Probably will activate it shortly. I wouldn't be surprised if they make the Misery / Eastern play. Of course, they won't be able to get into Misery just yet, but they will be able to clear Desert.
Like I said, I'm really hoping they take the trip down there because they need to get those Titans mitts if they're going to keep making progress. Indeed. Oh. Doing our other anthem of the day. While KillerApp finds the big key. And I believe a non-dungeon item, but gonna be just a 5-bomb upgrade. I think there are 3 NPCs that refill your health, unless you count the Zelda and the priest as 2 separate ones, even though they're in the same location.
Those 2, the old man and the witch's assistant. Final chest is big key chest and just a 10 arrow upgrade. So let's see. I'd guess KillerApp is going to be going to not Ice Palace. I don't think they've turned in the big bomb though yet.
No, we haven't seen that yet. And again, they're gonna be able to take the nice route just because it's an Aghanim seed.
So, we know it's not going to be something required back there.
Unfortunately, it can't even really be like a decent utility item of some sort either, because they've already got red mail. They've got silvers.
Got golden sword. Using the Mire plus the gate to make their way to Pyramid. A little bit faster than taking a long way around.
Oh, chat pointing out that KillerApp doesn't actually have enough money at the moment to access pod, despite all the money in this seed.
It's true, only $76, but...
Oh, we're good.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling there was going to be more rupees.
Alright, well he's got enough money for pod now.
Now they do. But where is going to be their next dungeon? Looks like they're going to check the witch and be... I mean, a full heart container isn't super disappointing, but at this much health, at this stage in the game, probably not what you want to find.
I think they're good on survivability.
Yeah, probably. Both of our runners in this race are skilled enough that they should be alright. Still not totally unwelcome.
Pedestal was 3 bombs.
Wulfy was very disappointed to find. After doing a blind pull.
Alright, Killer gonna take care of another crystal dungeon here.
And Wulfy opting for Fire Rod strats, and with that half map taking out Landmos very easily, and getting their crystal.
So now with their Titan's Mitts, they have access to Ice Palace, Dark Death Mountain, which is kind of where they need to go.
Indeed.
Coming back here for a quick... Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine, you're fine.
Coming back here for a quick check just to make sure that there's nothing on this side of the desert region.
I was going to say the disappointing thing for Killer is they're going to be checking everything in here too, and summarily there's not much to find, knowing what we know. The only things we haven't found by either player are the shovel, one bottle, and the Mire shield. Started the seed out strong with silvers and the bow, and everything's been coming up roses ever since. Wulfy about to get their Titan's mitts while KillerApp continues their dip in the mire.
So there's a possibility that KillerApp will go and check all of Ice 2 while...
I already have Titan's mitt.
And it's actually a safe play, all things considered, because he has to do the dungeon to begin with. It's just a little bit of unfortunate time loss compared to just going straight to Pod, getting the fire rod, and just running through everything full speed.
Absolutely. Bombos in tow, though, it should be alright. And half magic.
So Wulfy picking up his Quake here, and like I said, still really needs to go up to Death Mountain, get his Ice Rod, and if he does check Spike Cave, he'll get his Bombos as well. Unfortunately, he'll probably, if he does go up there, he'll probably be doing Turtle Rock before checking Spike Cave, which, to be completely fair, it's not that much of a difference for full clearing it. It's a pretty linear dungeon to begin with.
Indeed. Set opting to go to Link's house, so we might be seeing...
We're probably going to see his swamp here.
Yep. Since they're going for the portal. This KillerApp goes deeper into Mire.
Alright, Wulfy's going to take a small detour here to actually check Bombo's tablet.
Meanwhile, KillerApp conveniently finds the big key just in time to use it. Just a piece of heart.
Killer is, unfortunately, at the current rate, not going to get to do the really fun version of Vitreous, of just using silver arrows. But with Butter Sword and the cape, he can just dash back and forth a couple of times and everything will die.
That'll take care of it, yeah. I didn't realize how lacking he is with arrows at the moment, but again, with this loadout, it'll be alright.
When you get silver arrows early, it is kind of tempting to just use them all over the place for killing stuff quickly, and between Land Mollusk and everything else that he's been fighting.
Indeed.
I think he just hasn't been picking up that many on the way to actually refill what he's been firing.
Does seem to be the case. Let's see. So yeah, Wulfy only has a few dungeons left. 4 dungeons to KillerApp's 6. The KillerApp has just about got Mire wrapped up.
Killer only needs to go into pod insofar as getting the fire rod, though. And hopefully he just doesn't take the trip back up to Hera and saves that time completely.
And short work of Vitreous. Just got to do the sword slashes and we're done. And just a Mire small key. Don't quite know where an eyeball would hide it, but it was there.
So 3 more dungeons for KillerApp, or for the crystals, and they all hinge on the fire rod, basically. Not technically for ice palace, you can do it with bombos, but fire rod is kind of the intended way of doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and checks it anyways, though. Like I don't know what he's doing here.
I thought KillerApp had checked.
Nope, he didn't. Okay.
And that was a bit earlier, and I don't recall there being anything super important over there. Just 5 arrows, yep.
Well, I'm curious if he's actually going to do ice, or if he is going to go look somewhere else.
Oh, we should see in a moment.
If he goes back to 8, it'll be ice. Yep, he's just going to explode his way through ice. Forget the fire rod, he doesn't need it. Not yet, at least. Why shoot small flames at things when you can just blow up everything inside?
Indeed.
After this, though, he's basically out of options. I'm pretty sure he'll be heading to pod after he clears ice.
Potentially. They haven't finished us. Did KillerApp do Skullwoods?
No, can't finish it. Do you need fire up in the back?
Fire up, duh. My apologies. Do quite a bit of the front, but can't do the back. Opting for sword slashes to kill the penguins. Getting the early big key. So while we have a brief lull for the moment, just as a reminder for anybody who has just joined us recently, this is the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past standard randomizer tournament. This is the very first round of the Swiss stage, 7 rounds of Swiss, followed by a couple of rounds of knockout. Because this is first round, both of our rounds are currently at 0. Kinda need that key, KillerApp. Not opting to do the bomb jump.
The bomb jump is actually most efficient when you're just going straight to the boss. That's when it saves the absolute most time.
Truth.
When you're full clearing, it's not actually too big a deal.
That's totally fair. That is something else. Since Wulfy doesn't have the ice rod yet, since that's up in Hookshot Cave, they're also going to be full clearing everything until they find that.
The good news for him, though, is following this, ice is the only place he can full clear. It'll be really unfortunate if he goes into T-Rock looking for ice, though. But given that Hookshot Cave is right there, I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah.
It's literally right there and is a quick check beforehand.
Right. Right now, this is really anybody's race. It really just depends on who grabs that necessary item first. And with the loadout of dungeons they still have to go into, I honestly don't know when they're going to make those plays.
I think the most unfortunate thing that could happen for Killer right now is thinking, oh no, maybe I left it in Hera, or maybe Sazrala's got it. I don't think he'd make that play before going and checking pod, though, so I think he's got a little bit of an advantage here once he gets out of ice.
Right. Pod has, if I recall correctly, 5 non-dungeon items, so quite a few options to take. Meanwhile, KillerApp continues to find just dungeon items. And Wulfy going to get their money from the Pyramid Fairy. Well, KillerApp finds some more money.
Wulfy opting to do the bomb scroll.
It broke. Which is broke since it's a glitch. Whatever. Of course, they've already gotten their King Zora money and everything else, so this 50 and this 300 is not exactly what they're looking for right now. Just barely got the right placement, so they weren't going to have to go back.
Wulfy going to be taking his trip into ice, as KillerApp is going to be leaving it, basically.
Indeed. Not sure who's going to have the easier time. Wulfy's got the Fire Rod, but KillerApp has the Butter Sword, so...
Butter Sword, Red Mail, Cold Stare's not that bad.
Nope.
I'm not quite sure how that sword didn't hit them, but... Doesn't matter.
KillerApp makes great work of Cold Stare, and gets War Bombs for his troubles.
Alright, I'm definitely expecting the pod play from him at this point. It's 5 items in one location.
Indeed. KillerApp had already started Tower of Hera, so he'd already gotten a couple items from there.
Well, I'm lying about what KillerApp's probably going to do, because he's going up here. I guess he didn't... I don't think... Yeah. I guess he never checked the first or front part of Hera. Skull Woods, not Hera. He checked the front part of Hera.
Also, we'll be able to check Pedestal, if they so choose.
Find out it's more explosives.
That would be... I don't know if that would be good or bad, because I don't think that would necessarily discourage KillerApp from checking pod, because again, there's enough items in there.
It's still 5 items compared to the 2 in Hera, and not having to do the Death Mountain climb.
Indeed.
The Fire Rod is in pod at the moment. Wulfy did do a blind pull of Ped.
And was rewarded with triple bombs. about one of the worst things you could possibly find on pedestal. Especially because both of our runners are waiting on items in order to be able to go in go mode the rest of the game.
KillerApp doing some unusual routing here that I've not really seen before. Seems to be working out just fine. It's just I haven't personally seen it.
Certainly has worked. Also going to see a Skullwoods bomb jump, although it's going to take an additional attempt at least. But just the map for the troubles. Meanwhile, Wulfy is making their run of disappointment through Ice Palace.
He'll at least get a required crystal, though, so it's not
Absolutely.
a complete loss.
Absolutely. See, if I were to guess, I would guess Wulfy will probably do Mire next, and then finish out Death Mountain. KillerApp is going to do a pet check, and will probably be relieved to know don't have to pull ped. Their next move
Oh no.
is not the right way.
I guess he might be suspecting it could be at Sazral, and he wants to get the green pendant before heading over to Pod. That way he can just quickly mirror over and check.
Right, because this isn't the fastest way to Turtle Rock. The other thing for KillerApp is KillerApp did start Tower of Hera, but once he realized the big key is in the basement and opted to leave Tower of Hera.
Picks up that big 20 by accident just to add to the pile.
Yeah. Earlier in the match, that was one of the better plays because that let him get a lot more progression items a lot faster than Wulfy. But Wulfy did find the fire rod a lot faster than this.
Yeah, and unfortunately this is going to cause KillerApp to lose the time that Wulfy had expended earlier, completing Hera, so...
Right. I honestly don't know if... I would not say I would have an idea of who's in the lead right now. I'd probably tip it to Wulfy because they have fewer dungeons to complete. And I would think they would make the move they would need to make faster, but it's still anybody's race.
I think it's very, very quickly shifting in Wulfy's favor, though, depending on where exactly he goes looking for stuff. By the looks of it, he really doesn't like Dark Death Mountain, but he might just be trying to clear up a little bit of extra overworld locations here.
Do you remember which chest Fire Rod was in Pod?
I can't remember. Was it in the mini Hellway?
I want to say it was Harmless Hellway, now that you mention it. Meanwhile, we haven't seen a bottle kid check. But it's just his allowance. Only 5 rupees.
No, I don't think he's done blacksmith.
Nope. Let's see, the Smiths was just a heart container, I want to say.
I think so.
And Peg Cave was also disappointment. As Wulfy will shortly find out. Meanwhile, KillerApp is going to take on Moldorm and Golden Sword and everything else that probably go down very quick.
Boop. Done.
Similarly, with just 10 arrows. I mean, that's good because now he has more arrows.
You can't avoid that arrow drop.
Now, the good thing for KillerApp is this is hopefully encouraging him to go down to Sahasrara, which will hopefully encourage him to do a pod check.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go take a look at Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think that's what KillerApp's doing. And getting bodied by the rocks as well.
To be completely fair, it's better to just face smash your way through them than actually have them block the path off and have to stand there for like 10 seconds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Meanwhile, I didn't recall what the chest was, and that is probably why it was only 10 arrows.
Here comes Wulfy with the Death Mountain play. If KillerApp is really lucky, there's going to be not a key in this first chest. So he can't actually continue. He has to leave.
It's probably one of the best possible things you could find. Additional health to help you through the game and discourages from continuing into Turtle Rock when the item you need to complete Turtle Rock is not there. And there we go.
So he is going to get his fire rod here.
That KillerApp will be in go mode. But Wulfy is not super far behind.
He still needs to go to Spike Cave to get his Bombo so he can actually finish off Mire.
And Super Bunny to get the remaining 2 sword upgrades. And Hookshot Cave to get the ice rod. The book ain't gonna help you there, Wulfy.
Monkey not wanting to go through the mirror is just like, no, bye.
And KillerApp getting their disappointing green pendant reward. Need to go get Kiki. There you go. Meanwhile, with the Bean Bottle, the Ice Rod, that.
Wulfy now entirely aware that he can complete Turtle Rock.
The question is he going to check Spike Cave? First, he's going to check Super Bunny.
Or
as
he can
Bunny.
check the armory.
Going to be very happy to get those 2 sword upgrades. Tempered in gold.
I'm curious how the sword upgrades work. Does he just like tape them together?
I mean, it's not 4 scabbards all just clanging about.
So I'm guessing Wulfy is gonna absolutely full clear this place looking for Bombos. Hopefully when he finishes it, he will head over to Spike Cave immediately.
Hopefully. Which I wouldn't see why not. I want to say I think Spike Cave is one of the only places he hasn't checked. Meanwhile, KillerApp gets Ether. He's not far away from getting the Fire Rod. Question is, how many more chests is he going to be checking? And if we did remember the order of operations correctly, it's sadly going to end up being quite a few.
He'll probably get to skip doing the Dark Maze and Big Chest. Because he'll either grab it just before or just after the dark basement.
Truth. A lot easier to grab. And because he did read pedestal, he knows not to bother getting the pendant.
Oh, shovel and tear would be mean.
Yeah, that pretty much would be. So pretty much now the only question left is, where is our Ganon's Tower Big Key going to be hiding?
We will be more formally asking that question when we actually are ready to go in there.
Absolutely. Come on, go south. Not yet. KillerApp's gonna get some rupees and some more small keys. Want to go south, KillerApp? That's where you want to go. There we go.
Time for the instant mirror.
Weird.
So he's probably going to head straight to Skullwoods at this point. Clear that out.
Meanwhile, it feels like the big key chest in Turtle Rock never seems to be a good thing. It's always worth checking, but rarely seems like there's a good item there. But that's the nature of Randomizer. It's location. Gotta check it.
Until there isn't a good item there. Then you regret not checking it.
Absolutely. Now, Butter making short work. Then... presumably Wulfy's also going to be checking the cave.
So I think at this point, KillerApp still has the lead. Wulfy was bringing it in quite a bit there. But Skullwoods is a very short kill on Mothula, and then he just can come up here, whereas I can't even remember where the big key was in Mire, but if it's not a God Mire, it's still going to be a considerable amount of time.
If I recall correctly, the big key was in the chest that is just in the room just to the west of the big key chest itself.
Oh, right, yeah, that's...
Where I need to lower the blue blocks to get to.
Alright, yeah, that's usually a pretty late check, so...
Yeah, it's still anybody's race, but I would probably give the edge to KillerApp right now. Good thing for Wulfy is that not doing Turtle Rocket in vain necessarily. There is a crystal here, but checking every single chest when you don't need to. And at this stage, when there's not much left.
Unfortunately for Wulfy, Killer's also just going to be able to finish Turtle Rock and head straight over to GT, whereas Wulfy is going to have to finish up here, hopefully go check Spike Cave. If he gets Bombos, go down to Mire, clear it.
And then come back up.
Oh no, there's a shovel.
There's the shovel. Don't give in to the siren song of the shovel. And that is the only thing of import on Lace Bridge. Well, he is about to make his Trinex fight. As KillerApp is about to enter Turtle Rock.
Entering just as one is leaving, basically.
And the big key is... Whoops. And the big key is early enough in Turtle that won't need to check too many chests. And really short work of Trinex. But the item is guaranteed to be nothing, just a piece of art.
Alright, Wulfy, are you going to fall for the shovel or are you going to go check Spike Cave? I have confidence he's probably going to check Spike Cave.
I do too, it's one of the only locations they haven't checked. This is definitely a high item count speed.
And yet they're both still making pretty good time considering everything that they've had to go through.
Indeed, this Killer App will likely clear within 2 hours, and then Wulfy is doing Spike Cave, so we will get his combos.
Killer App is definitely going to be finishing in under 2 hours. I think Wulfy can pretty easily pull it too.
Indeed. Question is, which route do they take in Ganon's tower, and where is that big key hiding? Game's not on just yet, but...
Well, this race was really, really nice to begin with, giving silvers right off the start, and unfortunately they've just kind of been being blocked by a couple items on each side. The seed gave at least Killer a lot of, I guess, kill power fairly early, because between the silvers and the butter sword, he's just been destroying everything.
He found those. Well, Wulfy is to make their... And with big key in hand, Killer App is just going for the key. Small key. So, almost to the end, folks. Yeah. Killer App probably not even going to bother with Mimic.
Nope, no reason to at this point. He
Absolutely.
Really can't be looking for anything.
Did check the big key chest since it was right in front of him. And, not much to speak of. Well, again, Wulfy is gonna at least go a little bit into the dungeon to get the big key, and with the stuff you have to do on the west side of Mire, I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes west side first, which means he's going to have to sit through the cutscene. Yep.
Killer App also getting the option of skipping Laser Bridge, because he's got that key left over from not checking the big key chest in the lava room.
Indeed. So no shovel for him, but this loadout.
I'm sure he's okay with that.
I think he will be when you tell him. And it looks like Wulfy is making a good decision, and they might not be checking the cutscene room.
Nope, looks like they're just going to double straight back around.
That's going to turn out to be the right play. That's going to save them a bunch of time. So now they can just go fight Vitreous. well, chat. It's that time again, because Killer App is just about done with Trinex. So that means we need to find where that big King Ganon's tower is. Those guesses in now. Do you have any ideas where the big key is going to end up being?
I'm gonna guess early again this time and say chest 2.
Chest 2. I'm thinking with how the seed is gone, I'm thinking it's going to be one of the Ice Armos chests. Forgive me, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I'm not exactly don't exactly have the stakes in this.
So Wulfy gonna show us the silver arrow vitreous here.
Alright, and then once Killer App enters Ganon's tower, that will close. So you have just a few more seconds to get your bets in. Starting with the right side. Your shield. So far, the Mire shield's nice, but not exactly needed right now.
That was like literally the last piece of equipment they could upgrade. They have.
I think there's still one bottle missing.
I guess, but when you've got red armor, Mire shield, that many hearts.
So far, nothing going. We're still waiting on that chest. More bombs. Going to be a moment before we get that next chest. Meanwhile, Wulfy is about to enter Ganon's tower themselves. Just another small key.
I believe we're at 9 now, if I can do math, which there's no guarantee if I can.
No guarantee, but I think you're right. Well, going through quite a bit of bombs. Which means we got 10, 11, 12, and 13. Will not be lacking for health against Ganon.
They don't need more hearts.
Not really. And
well, we're gonna see if Wulfy's going to do the classic Dark Magician route here. Check the Stalfos room and then mirror back and do right side. If he does that and this is right side, we might have a very, very close race.
Might be. That was 14? My math is right?
Yep, that was 14.
Well, I did say Ice Armos.
Ooh, Wulfy just opting to do left side in general, though.
there's our last bottle. That means our runners combined have found every pause menu item in the game. Not something you see every day in Randomizer.
Alright, well, we're up to 17.
And unfortunately for Wulfy, they're gonna take them quite a while before they can check right side. The thing though is KillerApp is opting to not check tile room just yet.
I don't think there are very many people who check tile room before just doing right side.
I can't.
Way too risky.
I really cannot blame them at all, especially since neither runner has finished yet, so you know you still got a chance. But, what's next? 20 rupees. Piece of heart. 20 rupees.
Wow.
5 bomb upgrade.
Wow. This is the second tile room I've seen tonight.
Tile room it is. Question is, will Wulfy check tile room first, or will he check the other chests?
I think I was commentating that match too, so...
So this gives KillerApp a few minutes to think. Although, again, it's mostly just going to be tension, because you don't know if how close your other runner is. And at an hour 52, you've got to be thinking they have to be right on your tail.
Oh yeah.
In this case, quite literally, since both of them have chosen sprites that have tails.
I just realized KillerApp got even more health too. Just what he needed. Well, the winner of the key guessing game is whoever picked 22.
"22 is your winner." And with key 22 being title room, the first sub to guess correctly is Fallen Prophet. Congratulations.
Alright, KillerApp's going to begin his run up the gauntlet now, while Wulfy's about to get the bad news that they're going to have to head back to tile room.
Indeed. So what will Wulfy do? This in all likelihood is going to be deciding the game, and
oh, he just cleared out right side. He's just doing tile room now because it's...
Sorry, I was doing the guessing game upkeep.
No, it's okay.
They did a really quick right side.
Oh yeah, they got right through the two rooms there.
So right now, Wulfy's only hope is if KillerApp stumbles in the Ganon fight.
I'd honestly rather not see that happen at this point, though. When you've gone through a
rather.
seed like this, it's just nice to let the runners break out the execution and finish it up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think either of them have any health potions or any fairies. The last bottle was a green pot, if I recall correctly. So they at least have magic.
When you've got red armor, that's basically, and that many hearts, that's basically the most important part of the game fight anyways, so...
Red armor and either 2 or 1 heart away from a full deck. Should be alright. It's going to be quite the close finish.
I'm going to laugh. He gets to the top of GT, opens the last chest, and gets another heart container out of it.
And again, with this little time left and the amount of items they have, I would not be surprised if neither of them end up checking the final chest. Just like KillerApp didn't check the chest in there.
Yeah, checking at this point is just for would be just for fun. They're not looking for anything at all at this point.
Literally no. Well, I mean, KillerApp's looking for the shovel, but we know where the shovel is. And for now, we do not know what the final chest is. Meanwhile, Wulfy is about to go into Landmo, but KillerApp is about to go into Agga 2. Luckily, that's about as perfect a Landmo.
It's a great line of fragging too as well. A triple right on first cycle.
And at least one shot in second. And it's Ganon time, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, unfortunately, my guess about both of them probably getting a sub 2 seems to be a little bit wonky, just courtesy of tile room being a thing.
Yeah, having to practically full clear GT is not going to help with that.
I believe KillerApp can still pull it off, though.
Yep. It's kind of been part of the theme of this seed. It's full clearing most of the dungeons. Because they were missing an item or two that you needed to do. Wow, KillerApp has had excellent execution. Faces Ganon. Just a pair of bat hits, but with red mail, not much of a problem. And final chest will remain a mystery.
That's fine. Nobody actually wants to know what's in there anyways.
Ganon is not cooperating with all these teleports.
We haven't gotten to 17 yet, so...
But with that one, he cooperates. Yes, Ganon, we found the silver arrows. They were one of the first items.
Nice.
Literally the first item we found in the game. They were in Link's house chest.
You know, the uncle might have won if he had just picked them up before running out the door, but he was in too much of a hurry.
Weird. And there you have it.
Ganon can teleport a lot of times. I think the personal highest I've had is like 18, but I know there's stories of a lot more. GG to KillerApp.
Indeed. Just 1 second, we will get his official speedrunning rate.
Just realized we got Ganon quoting one of the CDI games.
Indeed. Meanwhile, we should have KillerApp in here. Should be joining us shortly. Just about to finish their run with Ganon. those GGs in chat for Killer App and shortly for Wulfy. And we have KillerApp23 with us. Congratulations.
I have no idea how I won that, but thanks. What a terrible seed.
I mean, it started out really helpful.
Well, yeah, I was surprised. Like, I almost threw it all away by dying to the Mimic right at the right at the end of Eastern, but that early Eastern play would probably helped me a lot.
That is pretty much the deciding factor. You going into Eastern faster than Wulfy.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of which, Wulfy's just cleared Ganon.
GG to Wulfy.
GG to Wulfy. We will potentially have him in shortly for the interview. But yeah, both of you have been neck and neck for, in one way or another, for the majority of the race.
Yeah, he's probably had the fire out of his gummo too, I would assume.
He actually had the fire rod for quite some time. His combination was effectively ice rod into T-Rock and then over to get bombos from Spike Cave.
Yeah.
He decided to actually make quite the early play on Pod to find that. Unfortunately, one of the big things that changed things a bit was he completely did all 3 of the pendant dungeons and blindfold Ped. Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, he was probably quite disappointed. You at least got to read it.
Yeah.
And no disappointment was there.
I was sort of feeling it after all the crystals didn't amount to anything that I could full clear. I was like, it's probably on pedestal.
Indeed. We're checking with Wulfy to see if they would be interested in an interview, but at the moment, not heard back yet. But still, congratulations to KillerApp for winning. This will push you on into the 1-0 set of racers for the second round of the Swiss section.
Hopefully that's the worst seed out of the way.
Might be.
My opponent was really good, so it could have been either way, sure.
Indeed. Both of you finished pretty closely. You finished. So it was pretty neck and neck.
Because I think I did everything outside of Pod except for I think Purple Chest and Graveyard Ledge. But it was sort of nice in the middle there that items just come on one right after another. At getting the boots went down because I knew I could clear desert and ended up having the mids.
Yeah, those. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
seemed like a nice stretch of items there, and then it went cold once I needed the fire rod for go mode.
Indeed. There also seemed to be a running theme that you kept finding items in bunches.
Yeah.
Quite a few chests, quite a few rooms that had multiple 20 chests. Super Bunny having 2 sword upgrades.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, where Wulfy had gotten the fire rod earlier, you actually had a pretty considerable advantage from going to Desmond and getting the Titan's mitts. It did take him a while to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you actually had surprisingly divergent routes for the most part in what order you were getting items in and what dungeons you were going to.
Yeah.
moment we're seeing if we'll...
Wulfy83, I guess.
Right. After... Yeah, might be able to join us, might not. We'll see. So... We'll continue on with the tournament. Anything that you're in your next match or anything doesn't end up happening?
It's still way early on to really predict what's going to happen, so just play my game until I hopefully make it to the brackets stage.
Absolutely. And with 1-0, you're certainly off to a great start. Well, at this rate, I unfortunately do not think we're going to have Wulfy be joining us tonight, but still get some GGs into chat for them. They certainly put up a valiant effort and had a really close race KillerApp tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck to Wulfy the rest of the way. I know he'll make it to bracket stage. This was just a rough seed.
Yep, with the amount of runners we have in this tournament, with 7 rounds of Swiss, there is certainly plenty of time to make up ground.
Oh, yeah.
So, KillerApp, any final thoughts?
No, just thanks for the all the people putting this huge tournament on. It's a lot of work, so thanks to them, we get to have all the fun, or torture, I guess, for some, but yeah, it's fun.
Oh, we actually do have Wulfy. Give us one moment and bring him into chat.
All right, I'll head out. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
Talk to you later.
Yep, good night, KillerApp, and once again, GG. Here we are, Wulfy, GG on finishing the seat.
Thanks. I wish I didn't have to full clear it.
Yeah, that's something that happened between both runners. Just KillerApp just had that slight edge on it, unfortunately, tonight. Seeds started out pretty good. Starting out with silvers and bow is definitely nothing to sneeze at.
So what would you say was the deciding factor in that?
It was kind of a combination of things, because you had gone into pod a lot faster than KillerApp, so you had the fire rod way earlier than he did. But since you hadn't gone up to Dark Death Mountain, you were waiting on the ice rod and bombos for a little bit. But at the same time, both of you had to full clear Ganon's tower to get the big key in Tile Room. Both of you had to full clear a lot of dungeons in order to, find all the items you needed to get into go mode. So it was legitimately a very close race.
Ice Rod and all the other stuff being on Dark Death Mountain was really bad for me. I was trying to stay efficient, so I was hoping to get the Ice Rod before going up there, so I could just beat Turtle Rock along with it, but of course the Ice Rod was up there.
Absolutely. Yeah. You had 196 items, 183.
Fortunately, KillerApp did attempt to go into Turtle Rock without the fire rod, but that was a very short-lived trip because the first item wasn't a small key. So that right there could have been another moment in the race. That was a pretty deciding factor. If he had been able to continue further in, it would have lost a fair bit of time. But
did we both full clear both Ice and Swamp?
Yeah.
Pretty much the only thing that didn't get full cleared is KillerApp didn't full clear pod because once he found the fire rod, he just go-moded everything. And then he didn't full clear Turtle Rock, so he did not get the shovel. But, yep, that's the way the cookie crumbles in Randomizer. Sometimes you get really fast seeds and you're able to go through, and sometimes you have to check everything. But that's what both of you had to do tonight, and was a very, very close race. You definitely can leave this race with your head held high, Wulfy. Plus, the benefit of this being a 7-round Swiss opening round means there's still plenty of time to get plenty of wins. Once again, we thank you for racing tonight, Wolf. Any final?
Nope. See you next week.
Okay. Thank you very much for running. Give more GGs in chat. And then, Voidborn, do you have any final thoughts?
Not really. It was a fun race to watch. It was a little bit unfortunate that turned into basically a complete full clear. You never really want to see that happen, but both runners had very, very good execution throughout, regardless. Being able to almost completely clear the seed and still get just marginally over 2 hours is very, very impressive. So definite GG to the runners, and I hope their future games are not quite as silly as this one.
Hopefully. And just to do that last little bit of housekeeping, we want to thank our tractics tonight, and we want to thank everybody who has been helping to run the standard tournament. Again, this is a 512 runner race, so there has been a lot of work and a lot of effort to get everything scheduled and timed, and thus far it has been a really good tournament thus far. And I also want to thank you, Voidborn Beast, for joining me on short notice.
It's not a problem.
Yep, it happens, but again, we have a very good volunteer crew. Very grateful. So, once again, for my co-commentator Void Beast, I am the Lost Carol. We want to thank you for joining us in tonight's standard Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer tournament, and plenty more races coming both tonight and in the coming weeks. So once again, thank you for joining us, and as always, good night, Internet.
Have a good night, everyone.